Today is the 3rd of April, Friday, the 3rd of April. It's 6 o'clock p.m. BST, British Summer Time, which just changed last weekend. And I'm going to be here for up till 2 hours. So for those who don't know me, I'm a therapist and coach, and I come here on social media to talk about anything you would like me to talk about, as long as it's related to mental health, therapy, psychology, human behavior, and how we can expand and elevate our quality of life from those places. So if you have any questions, just ask me, and I will do my best to give you some actionable suggestions. Sanko, nice to see you. Thank you, Sanko. How are you doing today? Today is bank holiday in the UK. I don't know why I said that. Just felt appropriate. Okay, I'm going to start the live stream the way that I always start my live stream, which is by reading and commenting on my own post. If you see me, that's probably because you have liked or followed, or maybe you are interested about some of the things that I talk about in my short videos. And so I'm going to just go through some of them and comment on them, and hopefully that will give you an idea or remind you about what I'm about and give you some inspiration to then talk to me about yourself and ask me some questions. So the first post goes like this: positivity is not toxic. Toxic positivity is toxic. Masculinity is not toxic. Toxic masculinity is toxic. Toxic is an adjective and the key element that determines whether something is toxic or not. But very often, you may have noticed on social media when people are talking about, let's say, toxic masculinity, a lot of people go, there's no such thing as toxic masculinity, it cannot be toxic. And the reason why so many people can't just realize that it is an adjective. So there's two different things. There is masculinity and toxic masculinity. But many men who are reacting to that, they can't see that because they're reacting emotionally. And this is the thing, whenever we are reacting emotionally to something because it's something that we care about, something that is important to us, now we're going to have, for a moment, less access to our critical thinking, less access to our rational intelligence. It is literally how the brain works. We can either be more emotional or clear-minded and focused and understand things. And so if you ever talk about someone, about anything, and they are not able to understand the most simplest thing, like what I just, the example that I just gave you, that'll be because in that moment, that person is reacting emotionally, and that is preventing them to access their rational intelligence. Something important to know. So if you realize this, then the last thing we want to do is to try to rationalize them because they're not using the same part of the brain. And the best thing to do is to disengage. Yeah. Next post. One of the most corrosive things to your self-esteem is to keep allowing people criticizing you unfairly and keep stomaching that unfairness in silence. So many of us, we allow for people to put us down all the time, and we don't say anything about it because we don't feel safe, because we don't have confidence. But what we don't realize is that every time we're letting this happening, it's denting our self-esteem. It's making us feel worse. It's hitting us inside, and over time, it can really be damaging to our sense of worth and even our physical health. So something to be aware of. Learn how to speak out your truth. Learn how to set boundaries. Learn how to express yourself. Learn how to be yourself, as opposed to allowing some habits of the past to keep continuing with other people. Probably we've been bullied in childhood, and now we're allowing for everyone else to keep bullying us, and we don't have to anymore. Next one, and this one is a little bit political, and it goes like this: if you defend someone that is committing evil or choosing to turn a blind eye on his crimes because he's presenting himself as a Christian like you don't really care about Jesus and the values that he taught and stood for. You only care about protecting your tribe, and Jesus is definitely not impressed with you. Something about Donald Trump, Russell Brand, so many people who are hiding themselves behind religion because they know that they have a lot of skeleton in the closet, but they need to find some sort of tribe that will support them. People like Mark Wahlberg, there's so many of them. And the way I look at the state of America, there's so many people who are misusing religion, sadly, because this is not what I believe that Jesus is about. But something to get the conversation going. Next post. The energy that drives your relationship shapes its nature. When you no longer fear being single, you no longer settle for people who give you less than enough. So this is to highlight how many people stay in a relationship not because they love that person, but because they don't want to be on their own. They believe that this is all that I deserve. I'm lucky enough to have someone like that. But as long as we allow those kind of dynamics happening, as long as we see ourselves like that, we will suffer because we will not have someone that can love us the way we need and we deserve to be loved like. Next post. Pain is necessary. Pain is when life teaches you the value of not being in pain. Suffering, however, is optional. And this is what you experience when you are resisting the lesson. And so pain is inevitable, it happens. And we need to accept that it happens, but it's okay because it's only a moment. Pain never lasts forever, nothing lasts forever. So if you can realize that pain is a sensation, it's a signal, it's telling us something like physical pain. If you, let's say, you stumble on something, you walk on a piece of Lego, you're gonna have some pain because the information is watch where you are walking. That's the information, and it's the same with emotional pain. Um, but if we avoid the pain, if we are scared, traumatized, terrified of pain, if we're trying to do everything we can to not have pain, now we're creating suffering. Right? Next post, and it's a topic that I talk about quite often. Funny and cruel are not the same thing. If the other person is not laughing, it is not a joke. It is bullying. And if you are one of those who say that it's just a joke, you are a bully. Whether your ego allows you to realize this or not. And so we're talking about pranks here. We're talking about laughing at people as opposed to using humor to elevate everyone without it having to come at the expense of anyone, especially minorities. So, anyway, let me read the comments. There's some comments here. Let's see if there's any questions. So, Senko, I'm good. Thank you. Fantastic. Darcy, hi. Hi, Darcy. Darcy, you good? Yes, I'm good. Senko, thanks a lot for the advices you gave about productivity and addiction. It helped me become the #1 student in the past semester. Fantastic. Well done, Senko. I'm so happy about this. #1 student. Good on you. Good on you. Fantastic. I'm happy with this. Darcy, do you like books? Yes, I do like books. Good observation. um, yes, I read book. I do spend a lot of time exploring books. Indeed. Um, again, the start of my live streams are always a little bit slow, and so just a reminder for anyone who is new to my channel, I'm here to take questions and talk about anything to do with the mind. So as soon as you feel ready, just ask me and we can have a conversation together. Until then, I will keep on reading and commenting on some of my own posts. Okay? Next post goes like this. You tolerate people who are treating you badly because you're afraid of losing them. But what you don't realize is that every time you're doing this, you're losing yourself a little bit more. And so I think this is quite self-explanatory. When we are trying to fit in to be liked by everyone, we are not being ourselves, and this will cost us eventually. Next post. Control is the opposite of connection. The less connection you have with your body, the more you feel the need to control your emotions. The less connection you have with the universe, the more you feel the need to control your destiny. And the less connection you have with yourself, the more you feel the need to control others. So something very interesting to realize. We need control because we live in fear, because we don't have a connection with something. And really, if we could be reminded that control is an illusion, instead of trying to control things, we should be connecting with our body, with our emotions, with our intuition, with the universe, as in trusting life, and also reconnecting with our own self, our inner being. Um, Another post. A simple routine to end your day positively and something that can help you sleep better is to repeat to yourself this mantra when you are in bed and about to fall asleep. Today is exactly the lesson that I needed. I release what I cannot control, and I'm grateful for this moment. So I came across this online, but I think that is very simple, very beautiful, and very useful. So again, 3 things at night before I go to bed to end the day well, to sleep better, and to start the following day better as well. We need to let go of anything that we're holding, that have been affecting us negatively. And this is 3 things that we can say to ourselves as mantras that can absolutely help us with that. So number 1, again, today is exactly the lesson that I needed. Number 2, I release what I cannot control. Number 3, I am grateful for this moment. Um, I'm going to have a sip of tea because I'm talking a lot, but there's not a lot of people out there. Again, I was saying at the beginning that today in the UK is bank holiday, so maybe things are different. Maybe it's more like a Sunday. So I will do my best to stay around a little bit, but if there's not interactions, I just resume my day and I will enjoy bank holiday as well. Um, uh, However, if you feel that there's something you want to ask, do it now. Get my brain going. This is how I function. I need to have some people asking me things to get stimulated. Um, okay, I'm gonna post then. Karma doesn't do, create, or bring anything. Karma is the explanation of how things work. It is no more nor less than the law of cause and effect from the perspective of Buddhism. And so, um, karma, very often people believe that karma is like some sort of divine system that get life to create revenge on our behalf when someone has hurt us. But it's not like that. It's just that literally whatever we do, whatever we allow, whatever we think, feel, or say is going to create some repercussions. And this is what karma is. Manifestation is karma. Everything about our life is literally a manifestation of how we feel, of the belief we have, of the habits of thoughts and emotions that we have. And so this is another way to look at karma. Um, and so if you want to manifest a different and better life for ourselves, what we want to do is to change our habits of thought, habits of emotions, habits of perceptions, all of those things that we can do from the inside out. Next post, something that some of you may find quite interesting, and it goes like this. The world is falling apart. The truth is coming out. And for those of us who have survived narcissistic abuse in childhood, this is particularly hard because the actions and the way the government is constantly lying to us mirror and echo the dynamics of an abusive home. We can't escape, there's not much we can do about it, and we can't avoid being reminded of this all the time. So basically, for those of us who have survived narcissistic abuse or dysfunctional families in childhood, looking at the state of the world, watching the news is even harder because everything about it reminds us of our own past. It's like a continuation at a grander scale of an abusive home. Again, we can't escape. There's nothing we can do about it, and we're constantly reminded of this all the time. It's terribly frustrating. So, but experience why so many of us find it so hard to function knowing all the things that are happening in the world, that have been happening in the world for the last few years. And finally, the last post that I'm going to read today goes like this. A very common paradox with narcissism is that they will tell you that you are being disrespectful for not letting them disrespect you. So this is very hypocrite, but I'm sure that you understand what I'm trying to explain here. And that's it. I can carry on for a little while. I've got tons of them, but I'm not sure that there's much point. Normally, by that time, some of you would have engaged with me. I'm going to stay another 5 minutes. And if I don't get any, again, sign of life from you, it's fair enough. I understand there's not a lot of people online because it's Good Friday and probably people are outside enjoying doing other things. That's fair enough. But I will then use my own time to do other things. Okay. I come here twice a week, every Wednesdays and every Fridays for sure, from 6 o'clock to talk to people, to help whatever I can with mental health and learning how to understand the mechanics of a mind. But yeah. If you watch this on catch up and you try to come later and I was not around, it's only because it was too quiet. I enjoy being here. I enjoy talking to people. I enjoy giving advice. But yeah, if you feel like it, do use me. If not, in 4 minutes, I will resume my day, and I will wish you a fantastic weekend. We can resume this sometime next week. I also create long form videos on YouTube. I haven't done anything in the last 3 weeks because I've been overwhelmed, burnt out, and so I will resume for sure Monday. I think the topic that I will choose is something to do with toxic positivity. It's a theme that I've been thinking about for a little while. So I've got a comment from. So Tanner said hi. Hello Tanner. Sorgon. Hello Sorgon. Tanner. Fantastic interaction. Thank you. What do you suggest if a man asks for some advice about how to improve his willpower against his own irresistible desires? All right. Okay, so I'd say we need to understand where you're coming from. So what you're trying to say is that someone has some irresistible desire, and assume that you think that those desires are bad, and so you need to find a way to have some willpower to control this. And the way that I look at this is opposite to that. It's about understanding yourself and don't repress yourself. If you try to repress and control and prevent some things, now we're not understanding what is happening in our body, and we're going to create a lot of problems. If you have any desire, you want to understand what are those desires, you want to understand where they come from, you want to tackle the origin of those things as opposed to trying to control and repress and ignore and suppress. If you do that, you're going to create a lot of problems. The whole system in society and also the dogma of many religions that are the structure of that society are based on what you're saying. You've got to control yourself. You have some part of you that are shameful, that are dirty. You must avoid them. You must control that. And this is the cause of so many mental and emotional problems, because we are first believing that there's some part of us that are dirty and bad. And it's not like that. Now, of course, there are things that we want to avoid to do in society, but we want to understand first why we feel the way we feel, instead of putting everything under the label good or bad. This is oversimplification, and it's born from systems that people are to put into place to try and control people back in the days, because we didn't know much about intelligence, about psychology, about how the brain worked, and so they had to come with the system. It was a system based on fear. You are born a sinner. You have sins. You should be ashamed. And if you don't fix those things, you're going to end up in hell. And it was the only way for people to be in line out of fear, because we didn't know any better. But now we understand better, so we don't want to do this anymore. We want to understand, what are we talking about? What are those irresistible desire you're talking about? Maybe there are ways to understand them, to channel them. Maybe some of them are not that bad after all. It depends. It all depends on so many things. And then, yeah. If you want to be more specific about your comment, Tanner, I would love to tell you more. What do you mean by finding willpower against some irresistible desire? Are you talking about lust, about sexy thoughts, and sort of things? Because anything to do with sex can be seen from a perspective of it being very natural and healthy. It doesn't have to be, but again, it all depends on many things. Sargon, I wanted to ask about your video on narcissist. Okay, what about it? Sargon, you said that obsessing about a narcissist is a trauma response. Yes, it is. If we're obsessed about something, it is a trauma response. So if you are obsessed about narcissists, a lot of people online, they talk about it all the time. Oh, narcissists are bad. I know how to control them, how to manipulate them. Blah, blah, blah. And so many people, they just talk about this. And because many of us, we've been hurt by narcissists, a lot of people enjoy watching this sort of content. But anyone who is obsessed by that, unless they are narcissists themselves, they just want to have clicks on their channel, they are basically displaying their own unhealed trauma. If you're still angry at someone, if you're still scared of someone, if you're still bitter about anything that happened to you, they're still controlling you, they're still living rent-free in your head and taking your power away, right? Very often when we have resentment towards some people that have hurt us in the past, is because there's a part of us that feels unsafe. We still don't have a coping mechanism. And so we're scared that we may come across the same sort of people again. And just like it happened in the past, we will suffer them again. And so when we have healed, we understand how to deal with people who are narcissists. And that's different, because if you understand how to deal with them, you don't need to think about them all the time. You don't need to be obsessed. You don't need to talk about them all the time. You know that the world has all sorts of people. Some people are narcissistic. Some people are sociopaths. Some people are sadists. Some people are Machiavellians. Some people are don't have empathy and are cruel. And some people are kind. Some people are good. Some people are compassionate. And there are all sorts of people. But if you understand yourself and how to see people and how to deal with them, you don't need fear. You don't need obsession. You don't need to, yeah, to keep that conversation going anymore. Tanner, malicious desire. All right, okay. So we're not talking about sexy stuff. We're talking about harm. I understand. So you're having intrusive thoughts. Is that correct? So it's not about willpower. The more you are repressing things, the more you are creating a time bomb. It's like pressure cooker. We want to understand why you are thinking those things. And very often, some intrusive thoughts that we have are just a glitch of the mind coupled with anxiety, stress, and overwhelm. So let's say we think about things that are not accepted. I used to have them myself. You look at your boss and you think about strangling them or that sort of things, or even strangers. For whatever reason, you have those thoughts. And in reality, the way those thoughts start is coming from a good place. Your mind is trying to tell you, this is good, this is bad. Do this, don't do that. But then the glitch happens because of also different reasons, but there may be us being overwhelmed with anxiety or depression or stress or all of those things and more. And so because of that now, that message is going to come across differently. And so instead of thinking, this is good and I shouldn't be doing that, your brain is just showing you a picture of you doing what you shouldn't be doing. Right? It's just clumsy into the delivery of its message. And this is very often what we experience when we have OCD. We have obsessions, intrusive thoughts that comes out of nowhere, and some of them can be malicious and really twisted and weird. And we think that there's something wrong with us. And so we're going to have some compulsions, something that we're going to do. It's a system for us to either tackle that thought or distract ourselves away from it. So yes, let's talk about it more, Tanner. But what you need to know at this point in time is that if you have any malicious desire, it's not necessarily nothing as it could be as simple as you being overwhelmed with stress, anxiety, having some unhealed trauma, and because of that, some information from your mind are coming across wrongly. Does it make sense, Tana? Sorgon, but what is the trauma and how to avoid that reaction? So trauma is how an event from the past was so unbearable and overwhelming that it has affected the way we function in society, the way we feel, the way we react, the way we see and perceive reality. This is what a trauma is, right? And so if we are constantly talking about narcissist, it's a sign that we have not healed from the trauma. Our brain still believes that we are in danger and we have to do something about it. So we don't avoid any reaction. Any reaction that we have are programs that we put into place for a specific reason. What we want to do is to understand why we have a program and how we can upgrade that program. Have you suffered from narcissist yourself, Sargon? Sargon, I see. Okay. Jugu La Wang. I used to enjoy community work and social activities and was elected top national level NGO leadership. But now I feel isolated and I don't have energy to help others. How can I help myself first? By reconnecting with the things that are important to you. So the first thing that we tend to disconnect from is ourselves, as in the things that we should be doing in this life. We tend to do things for others. I'm going to make people proud. I'm going to be very useful. I'm going to be of service to others. And maybe it's not something necessarily that is very important to us. Maybe there are different things that you would like to do instead, but you've been repressed and you've been told to do those things instead. So maybe over time, at some point, it doesn't work anymore, and there's a part of you that is going to use depression to kind of remind you that you have a different life to explore and discover and fulfill. But you may be suffering from depression. Sometimes we expect life to unfold in a certain way, and as we go through life, because it's not giving us what we believe we should get, despite us doing all the things properly, then over time that can create a disconnect, depression. So listen to yourself, listen to your intuition. What are the things that you really enjoy? Do you spend time doing things that make you happy? And even your career, your job, do you do something that is related to what excites you the most? What comes to you naturally? What you used to be obsessed about when you were a child, perhaps? Have you had a lot of difficult things happening to you lately in the last few years? There are all sort of factors that I would need to know more about before I can give you a recommendation. Jiggler. Sargon, wow, you really helped me somehow. Oh, fantastic. Thank you, Sargon. So something that I said made sense. Thank you. Sargon, know who you are. Stephen Brain. So this is a very, very naughty comment. I'm not going to read it. It's very offensive and discriminatory. But I believe that this is why it's being said. A lot of people are online because they're bored with their life and just want to have a reaction from others. Maybe a lot of frustration, bitterness from life. So now we're going to go online and just try to get some reactions from them. And this is typically what narcissist people do. They want a reaction from you to confirm that they have power over you. And so I'm just going to block that person. And it's a shame because I could help you. If you could say that sort of things, it means that you need some help. But I understand that you're not in that place. And I used to be the same as well. I used to be very petty and nasty and angry. So I totally understand where you're coming from. However, I'm creating this space for people to talk about themselves. So it's going to be a safe space. And this is not the place for that. Right? And so Stephen Brain, I'm going to hide user on this channel. There you go. So now you're gone. And anything that you've put down is not going to be visible to us. I believe that you are still able to see the live stream, which is not a bad thing, but you won't be able to intervene and we won't be able to see what you have to say. Okay? I wish you a good day and I hope that you can learn something maybe from the live stream, even though you can't say anything to us. Sargon, yes, I had a yoga teacher that controlled my life. Okay? Okay, so yeah, this is sad to hear because when you think about yoga, you think about people who should be bringing you peace and compassion and understanding. But sadly, in the spiritual field, there are some people who are also narcissists, controlling people, deceiving. I know some. I know some who are pretending to do yoga stuff or meditation stuff or guru or whatever, and you can really tell. I mean, I can really tell that they are full of BS and they're just doing this because they can control and manipulate people. They are clever enough to know how to do that, and it's very sad. instead of affair. Jugula Wang, thank you. You helped us a lot. May your life be blessed. Thank you. My life is blessed. Thank you. I'm coming to the end of the thread for now. So again, guys, I'm glad that you finally get to speak. But again, ask me anything. Tell me, Sorgon, it was hard. Okay. ... You want to tell us more about it? And again, the way that I function the best is with questions. If you can ask me, give me a problem to solve, essentially, and then my brain goes in those directions. Stephen Brain put something, but it's hidden, so we can't see what it was. It's important to realize that trolls are people who suffer. I laugh at them because I take things with a pinch of salt, and that person also didn't really express much, and so that's why that's my way to basically take the drama away from those situations. But it's important to realize that those people are people, and they suffer as well. And it's easy online to let go of our frustration. And so the main thing is for us to realize that it doesn't matter what they say. This is what they want, to get a reaction, so we can easily block people and just move on. It's the same way we deal with people in 3D real life. We don't have to suffer people, but at the same time, we don't need to be angry at them. We can understand them. Like I was talking about narcissists in few instances from the start of that live stream today. Narcissists are also people who suffer from being narcissist. No one chooses to be a narcissist. And although, of course, we are hurt, so our first reaction is to try to hit back. But I believe that being a narcissist is a terrible life. It's really, really a lonely, scary, and life full of shame, and it's a horrible thing to go through, because they may be able to get away with a lot of things when we're young, as in gaslighting, manipulating, controlling people with their charisma, with whatever they have. But very often, as they get older, everything starts to dissolve around them, because they're losing their good look, they're losing their charisma, they're losing their power. And so more and more so people are leaving them, and more often than not, they end up alone. And they hate their life, they hate themselves. They say things like, it's their fault, they are bad people, my kids are bad. But they don't realize that because they're not able to take responsibility, they're just not able, it's not their fault, they can't. But because of that, they're really, really ending their life as victims, and there's nothing they can do about it, because they have created that for themselves over the course of their whole lifetime. So yeah, sometimes some people can change even if they are on the spectrum of NPD. And I believe that there are more and more people who are aware of this thanks to social media and the conversation we have now about mental health in general. However, for the vast majority of them, I believe that because of the nature of narcissistic personality disorder, most of them will really, really suffer and have a terrible ending to their life. And I can't wish this to anyone. Clemens, how do you grieve unloving mother? So your mother didn't love you, but she's gone, and how do you grieve her? You don't choose how you grieve. The way you grieve is the process of you going through that new life without that person. Right? So did you love your mother despite her not loving you? Could you give me that information, please? Very often, if you were not loved by your mother, you would have been through the grieving process already in childhood. As in, you would have understood that, my mom, she's gone. She's not her physical self, he said, but I never connected with her. So this is what I've been through myself. I buried my parents when I was very young. And I think it's a system we do to prevent ourselves from suffering the loss of them furthermore. And what it means is that after that, when they are gone, we don't feel the same because we have grieved them already once. But then I'm not sure, but I understand your situation, Clemence. If you lost your mum and she didn't love you, the main thing is, did you love her? Are you still waiting and expecting some sort of validation from her? The grieving process is just how you go through. So we don't choose to do that. The only thing that I could tell you is that regardless of the type of grieving we're going to go through, we're going to feel all sort of different feelings at different stages of the grieving journey. The grieving journey is adapting to a new life. We're not really missing a person that we're losing. What we're missing, what we're losing, is the version of ourselves with that person. We're missing all the things that we used to feel, that we used to expect, that we used to do with that person when they were around. And this is what grieving is really. We don't grieve the person, we don't miss the person, we don't lose the person. We miss, we grieve, and we lose the version of ourselves with them. So go through it, feel whatever you feel, think what you need to feel, and then learn to have a good connection with your emotions so that you can let them go, as opposed to thinking about it, right? Clemens, she was cold and emotionally abusive. I never had emotional support from my mother. Okay. I'm sorry to hear. But did you love her? Did you? How do you feel now? Just tell me, how do you feel about it? Do you feel lighter? Do you feel heavy? Do you feel that you wished that you had a chance to fix that when she was around, and now that she's no longer here, you missed that occasion, that opportunity? Because you can't change this. You can't change your own belief about the afterlife. You can work on that. A lot of people change religions, go atheist, or choose religion, or choose different spiritual belief. Whatever we believe about life, the afterlife, and reality is just a belief. And so sometimes the best way to deal with that is to change those beliefs. You could choose to believe the things that I believe in. I believe that we come into this life to experience a human experience, and sometimes we have clusters of souls. We're here to experience what it is to have that life. And so we may decide, okay, in that life, I'm going to be the son, you're going to be the mum, you're going to be the dad, or whatever. And we come here and we experience things. And when we experience those things, we forget that we have chosen that, because we need to experience what it is to go through all the emotions and the states that are to do with those dynamics. And then as we rejoin in the afterlife in a different dimension, then we can gather the experiences that we have experienced, and then we can decide to come back and we can say, okay, this time, next time, now I'm going to be the dad, and you're going to be the son, and you're going to be the narcissistic uncle or whatever. So now we can experience things from a different angle. And so if you can see life like that, you can see that your mum, she was like that because she's chosen to do that, and you have chosen to do that as well. Because as far as a soul is concerned, a human experience is an experience, and all experiences are valid. If you look at experiences from the position of the ego, of the human being, there are things that you like and some things that you don't like. It's normal. But if you look at yourself from the position of the observer, it is an experience, whatever you're going through. Even if you go through pain, you have a cancer from very young age, it's an experience. Even if you are a narcissist, if you are cruel, if you are a horrible person who hurts others, it is an experience. And so on and so forth. Even if you are born in a country at war, in abject poverty, you're being abused by your parents, it is an experience. And so if we can see things from that perspective, now we can realize that whatever is happening to us in this life is a story that we have chosen to go through, but it's not the last story, it's not the only story, and that can help you maybe reconcile with your mother, even though she's gone. Yeah? I hope it makes sense. And also, this is just one of the many different ways we can look at those things. There are a lot of different spiritual beliefs out there. It's for you to explore and find out what works for you. No one knows about the afterlife, and so everything about the afterlife is a belief, literally everything. So you might as well choose belief that will work for you I've done that myself. I used to be obsessed with death when I was younger, like really bad, for such a long time. And and then eventually I developed more understanding of different spiritual perspectives, and I came up with some systems that work for me. And now everything is is easy, thanks to that. Um, Clement, it's hard for my self-esteem to have lacked love from my mother. Okay, so that's because you are still looking at yourself from the position of the child. Whenever you're looking at yourself from the position of the child, you experience things in the same way you experienced things when you were a little girl. She doesn't love me. There's nothing I can do about it. She's always horrible to me. It's because of me. When we're a child, we take everything personally because we are a child. Our brain is not fully formed. So we don't have any possibility to have perspectives. It's always me, 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 me. If our parents are horrible to us, we're not going to believe that they are bad. We're going to believe that it's because of me. There's something wrong about me because we're not able to hate our parents. We need them to survive. And so when you feel bad, it's because in that moment, you have become the little girl again that you used to be. But if you can find a way to see things from the position of the adult or even from the observer, as I was talking about, then now everything's changing because you are looking at things from a different perspective. And this is what healing, but also personal development and growth is about. It's about elevating your perspective so that you no longer experience things from the position of a child that is hurt and powerless. Clement, I love her as a mother, but she's abusive. She's alive still, but I have a little contact with her. Okay, all right, she's still alive. So what do you mean by grieving her? We can talk about it if you want. If she's abusive to you, maybe it's a better idea for you to work on yourself and not allow her to abuse you anymore. I would suggest you that. Terry Matlock, I have people in my life actively wishing me harm. Am I wrong to ignore this and work on being happy anyway? I do imagine that they're loving and kind to avoid the negativity that arose in myself. So it's very simple. If people are wishing you harm, keep away from them. That's it. Whatever the reason, it doesn't matter. If they're trying to hurt you, to harm you in any which way, just create a space between you and them. And then, as you do already, this is what you want to do. Focus on yourself. There will be always people who want us good and people who want us bad. And it's down to us to hang out with the right people. And sometimes people change as well. But very often, if we are born in a family, we believe that we must stick to those people just because we are the same family or because we came from the same village, we have the same sort of background. It's not like that. There are zillions of people in the world. We only have one life as far as this life is concerned. And so we really ought to be in the right place, hang out with the right people, instead of believing that those people who've been horrible to me are more important than all the other people in the world. It's just not true. It's a belief. We can upgrade this belief. Clement, I love your lives. Thank you, Clement. I'm glad you do. Fatih Tatla said hi. Hello, Fatih. How can I help myself? I have trauma. So I need to know what sort of trauma you're talking about. Because at this point in time, it sounds like I have pain. Help. What can I do? I don't know. I need to know what sort of trauma we're talking about. Professional help would be very helpful. But some people may find help through different avenues. There are a lot of different ways we can address trauma. But the most important aspect of it is to realize that trauma will be something that is to do with your subconscious mind. We don't talk our way out of trauma because trauma doesn't live here, it lives there. In your nervous system, in your heart, in your body, in your subconscious mind. Fatih, hello, said hi. Clement, good advice. Thank you. Thank you, Clement. Clement, I meant grieving the lack of love from my mother. All right, okay. By realizing that if your mom never loved you, she's not going to change tomorrow. So you need to stop waiting for her to change. You need to stop having some sort of validation from her. It's never going to happen. It never happened. Accept that that person, she's not more important than anyone else. It's a lie. Sometimes some of us are lucky. We are born in families that love us. And it's a great thing. But many of us were not that lucky. We were born with families that don't love us, or maybe they want to love us, but they're not able, they can't, because they have their own trauma conditions, unhealed wounds, and so they just don't know, and they will hurt us. So what we need to do is to realize that this is happening, and I've been waiting and expecting for a long time, but I'm going to stop expecting now. I'm going to do my best to look at them with compassion, but I'm going to detach myself for now because I've suffered from that long enough. And I'm going to find out the right people. There are some people out there that are kind, beautiful, caring, who will give you all the love that you need without having you to beg for it or to do anything about it. So instead of grieving the loss of your mother, focus on discovering other people, other things, do things that you enjoy, maybe some project that excites you, be creative, whatever it is, focus your mind on something that is going to make you feel better about yourself, as opposed to thinking about someone who never loved you or who was never able to love you. This will not help. Terry Matlock, thank you. Thank you, Terry. I chose to be free. Thank you. Good on you, Terry. Kerry Ellington said hi. Hello. Hannah, Didi, do you think fiction or non-fiction is better for expanding the mind? It depends. We're all different. And also expanding the mind means different things to different people. And so some people expand their mind by reading stories or fictions. They can explore, because when you read different stories, you are observing a story from a different perspective. The perspective of the narrator, the perspective of the hero or the heroine. And so that does that. However, expanding our mind could also be expanding our mind as in not just going from me to fantasy, but really realizing that the life that we experience is only our perspective. And if we can see things from other people's perspective, not just when I'm reading and I'm in the fantasy land, then that's how it becomes useful. So that's how nonfiction helps, because it gets us to learn about empathy, which is no more or less than seeing things from someone's perspective. But it's not an imaginary world, it's everyone. It's your parents, it's your siblings, it's your spouse, it's your friends, it's your neighbors, it's your colleagues, it's the strangers in the street. This is what it's about. Because when we read books, we had a different kind of mindset. I'm going to watch a story. And already when we watch movies or books that are about a real story, it hits us harder because we know that it's a real story. And so with the nonfiction, now we're straight into the real story of every single person that we are in contact with in our life. So there's not better or not better. I think everything is important. But from my perspective, nonfiction is great. I mean, it's not like that. We can learn a lot from stories and books that are fictional. I say both. Why this or that? Anything that get us to see things from a different perspective is adding to our expansion. So both, and whichever kind of book is easier for you, that's the answer. Whatever is easier for you is the best solution for you at this point in time in your journey. Clemens, my mother is a covert narcissist. That's why she has so much troubles loving me without abusing me. Okay, so if you know that, then you have to stop giving her opportunities to keep hurting you, right? You know that she can't help, it's not her fault. But at the same time, you hate this, you're suffering. And so stop this. You have the choice, you have the power. It's not easy, but you can work on that. Pumpkin Puff, hi Didi, how are you feeling today? Today I'm much better, thank you so much for asking. Wednesday I was very, very tired. Today, full of energy. I've been to the gym earlier on, and that really, really boosted my level of energy and happiness. When you train, you trigger all sort of chemical reactions in your body that are going to make you feel good. And I'm feeling fantastic right now. Thank you for asking. How about you, Pumpkin Puff? Comments. Jesus loves you and wants to reveal his existence as God to you. Ask him by prayer to reveal himself so your soul can be saved from hell for eternity. God bless you. Who are you talking to? Are you talking to me? Why are you talking about Jesus now? Clemens, my belief in Jesus is so big I can't stop speaking about it. So, all right, okay. Keep it for yourself. If we talk about religion, we can talk about Jesus if you want, but just like that, it comes across very wrongly. It comes across like you are trying to get people to believe the same things as you, and it's not something that we should be doing. You choose your belief. I'm happy that you believe in Jesus. If you believed in Allah, I would be happy as well. If you believed in Krishna, just as happy. It doesn't matter to me. I think the best way to use religion is to really appreciate that everyone is different and it's okay. The moment we start to believe that my religion is better than all the other religions, like there are thousands of them, then we're not utilizing religion properly. It has become tribalism, I need to belong. And also is the belief that we are better than others. And this is the reason of all suffering in humanity. The belief that some people are better than others, that some others are lesser than others. This is what creates all the pain, the suffering since the dawn of humanity. And this is what the wrong use of religion has created. And so I love Jesus, but I also love Buddha, and I love Allah, and I love Krishna, and I love all of them. And it's very important to keep this in mind, right? I'm glad that you have a system that helps you, but so many people, and I don't mean you, because you did say that you didn't mean to do that, but so many people come across my live streams out of nowhere. They're like, Jesus loves you. And we're like, come on. Do we know each other? We're talking about mental health. Where does it come from? And what people don't realize is that when it comes to religion, there is such thing as religious trauma, religious narcissism, religious psychosis, religious OCD, religious all sort of things created by too much religion wrongly used. So it's important to realize this. If you're happy with the way you use religion and your relationship with God and Jesus, then I'm super happy for you. I'm genuinely super happy. But yeah, something to think about. Pumpkin Puff, glad to hear you're feeling fantastic. I split yesterday, okay, slept on it, and this morning I apologized and decided to make protein pancakes, so I'm feeling better than I did yesterday. Fantastic. Thank you, Pumpkin Puff. So now you know, you're reminded that when shit happens, pardon my French, it's okay, because you can always salvage it the following day. You can always do something about it the next day. We tend to forget that everything that happens, we don't have to stay stuck in that moment. There's always another moment that brings new options, new opportunities, new perspectives, new luck. And so, yeah, good on you. You should be proud of yourself, Pumpkin Puff. Clements, Jesus said he was the only way to the truth in the Bible. It's not true. This is what people want you to believe. Jesus was just a hippie, someone who was full of love, and I love Jesus, but he never wanted anyone to follow him. He wanted people to be like him. That's different. He wanted people to basically be kind, loving, compassionate, forgiving, for sort of things. But he never wanted to create a cult where people would actually use him as a pretext to invade other countries, destroy other people, history. And so, yes, however, if you believe certain things about Jesus, that may be because you have been conditioned to believe so. So this, that may be the case. A lot of people, a lot of us, I grew up as a Catholic myself. My school was a nun school. My first years was being surrounded by nuns. The teachers were nuns. The cooks at the canteen were nuns. People looking after us in outside were nuns. And so I understand that when we grow up in different kind of environment, you will believe certain things. But because they told you that doesn't mean that it's necessarily the truth. For me, God is love. It's not a person, not to me, right? It's the universe, it's the energy of love, it's the energy of creation, it's the energy of creativity. And so whenever we are loving, whenever we are forgiving, whenever we are compassionate, we are channeling God. We are being God in that moment. That's what it means to me. As opposed to saying Jesus is right and all the other prophets they're bad. And this is humans, egos, narcissist using religion to control you and to create division and separation, as opposed to togetherness, connection, right? Does it make sense, Clement? Pumpkin Puff. Right, yes, thank you. I'm learning more now about how my brain works. Fantastic, Pumpkin Puff. I'm still struggling a lot with feeling absolute in the moment, but then severe guilt after. This is the thing. There's no such thing as absolute. So you need to stop chasing it. As long as you keep chasing absolute, you will never find peace because it doesn't exist. Nothing is absolute. Again, everything changes each moment. One moment at a time. What can be absolute is how you feel about yourself this moment. But the next moment, things are different. And if it's not the next moment, the next. Life is made of time, and each moment is always followed by another moment. And so absolute doesn't work. When people say, I don't like happiness because happiness doesn't stay, and it's just rubbish. Because nothing lasts. Happiness doesn't last. But unhappiness doesn't last either. Nothing lasts in the universe. Everything changes. And this is the whole premises of mindfulness. It's the ability to realize that everything flows and changes all the time. So if you can have a good relationship with pain, a good relationship with disempowering emotions, then we can process those things and let them go, and then invite the better emotions and the solace of pain the following moments, as opposed to trying to seek perfection, right? Terry Matlock, same, love is the thing, yes. Now, not everyone are able to realize this just yet. We're all on different journey, we all have different baggage, but that's the idea indeed. Yeah. Pumpkin Puff. I journaled a bit yesterday when I was feeling slightly better after listening to music and physically moving around. I feel broken, but I know it's not my fault that I feel that way. Okay, yes, that's the thing. Whatever that you feel is never, ever your fault. Again, some religions will make you feel like shame, guilt, sins, you're born bad, it's your fault. And this is precisely why so many of us suffer. We don't want to believe those things. Nothing is, we want to understand logic, psychology, why it happened to us. And so whatever that you are going through is because of XYZ. You have never chosen your childhood. You have never chosen your trauma. You have never chosen your conditions. You have never chosen your bullies, your parents, nothing. You didn't choose where you were born. You didn't choose the time you were born. You didn't choose whatever generational trauma you'll be born with, and so on and so forth. And so nothing was ever your fault. However, now that you're aware of that, you can start to think, I'm going to change this as best as I can, little bit by little bit, baby step. And this is the rest of your life now. It's about becoming better, as opposed to wanting to arrive, wanting to be healed 100%. This is not a thing. Pumpkin Puff. My husband wanted me to ask if I should be journaling my feelings. He thinks I'm empowering them by writing them down. No. When you journal, you are letting go of things. If you write them down and then you keep on reading them wherever you go, then maybe he's onto something. But if you're just writing them down, it's not a bad thing. You need to process things. Otherwise, if he's saying to you, don't journal, don't write them down, you're going to repress them, you're going to ignore them. And then that's how all of your problems are born, from repressing those things by having some shame about some of your own parts. And that creates all the problems in life. And so let them out, exercise your thoughts, express them first by writing. And then after that, you can get rid of those notes, right? One way you can do this is to put them in a box, lock them, burn them, put them in the freezer or whatever. You have exorcised that thought from your head. You can see it for what it is, and then you can get rid of it if you want. I hope it makes sense. But again, if you write it down and then you stick all of those writing on your mirror, on your walls, now that's not a good idea. Student. Hi, my time management not good. I often want to finish the task before moving on to something else, even if it's break. Okay. Do you believe that you may be on the spectrum of ADHD, perhaps? Many of us are undiagnosed, and what it means is that some of us have different type of brain, different than neurotypicals. And so if you say time management is not good and I want to finish the task before moving on to something else, so that means you start things before you finish the previous things. Those are typical signs that you may be on some spectrum of ADHD. And if that's the case, the best way to look at it is to realize that your brain is different, and so you want to understand the limitations, but also the good things about your mind, about how it functions, so that you can organize yourself accordingly. I find it hard to think of stuff to say in conversations, but always know afterwards of what I should have said. My responses are very small. Okay, so you want to go on a journey of self-awareness, self-discovery. We're all different, but there's a reason why we behave. And so if you say, I find it hard to think of stuff to say in conversation, first, maybe because you're overwhelmed, there's a part of your brain that is seeking emotional safety, you don't feel safe. And then, or maybe you don't comprehend, maybe you are on the spectrum of autism, and you don't comprehend social norms. So it's always puzzling you, and you don't have that ability because your brain is different. So it's about understanding who you are. And then you say, I always know afterward. So that could also indicate that you may be overthinking things. So that could be anxiety. Very often when we suffer from some social anxiety, we think about conversations before, we think about conversations after. We can't stop thinking about what we're going to say or what we have said or what we should have said instead or what we should say the next time. There are all sort of different conditions that would get this to happen. So I need to understand more about yourself. But I think the most important thing is about you to learn how to understand who you are. And then eventually find out why you have developed those patterns of behavior, those patterns of thoughts, those patterns of feelings and reactions. Everything that is operating you in life is a pattern born from some situations in your childhood. So it's a big journey, but it's something that I think we should all do, understanding ourselves. 1VT Mom 966. People may have asked previously, but is that your parents behind you? Yes, my mom and my dad, when we got married before I was born. And very often what I say is that I had a very tumultuous relationship with them when I was younger, and up to the age of 38. But things have changed, we have heard, and so this is my tribute to them. So whenever I do short video, she never sees my live streams, but whenever I do short videos, she's there, and she can see me sometime on Facebook, and I want her to see that I'm always honoring her. No, it's important to me. I have fixed a lifetime of hatred and confusion between the two of us. We have done this. Thank you for your heart. Pumpkin Puff. Oh, sorry, he corrected me that he wanted me to ask if it's okay that I don't delete my journaling even though I don't look at them again. It's up to you. Everyone is different. You can keep them, you can get rid of them, you can put them in a vault, you can accumulate them. It's up to you. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you get them out of your mind, right? Let me read this again. Maybe I missed something. He corrected me that he wanted me to ask if it's okay that I don't delete my journaling even though I don't look at them again. So again, it's up to you. Just 1 second, please. My watch is telling me that it's time for me to put my third TikTok post of the day. So just bear with me, please. I'm going to do it straight away. And then I'll be back to you right after. A simple routine to end your day positively.
Here are 3 guidelines for giving constructive criticism.
Oops. Just bear with me, please. I just want to make sure that it's fully uploaded. A simple routine. Yeah. Okay, let's go back to where we were. So let's go back to Pumpkin Puff. It's okay to if you don't delete my journaling. It's up to you. I'd say in general we don't want to. I know, no, it's up to you. I was going to say we don't need to hoard things. But then again, how much can you hoard anyway? Books can can contain a lot of things. If it's important for you, keep it. You may be surprised. Maybe in 10 years' time, you may get back, have a look at that and think, gosh, I've changed a lot. I can't believe that I've written that. So that could be a good thing, actually. Right? I don't keep things because I am anti-materialism as much as I can. I only use things when they are useful. For me, things are just things. Uh, if I could, see, it's a tricky one because my husband loves things. He's into antiques. His yeah, things are his life, and I understand that because for him, each thing has a story. But to me, if I could, I would rather have. If we could move in a different place, I would like to have maybe living spaces that are zen, that are empty, minimalist, and he can have his own room full of stuff everywhere. And so because of that, I personally wouldn't keep this sort of writing, but that's me. Um, and I'm saying this, but at the same time, I do keep note of other things because I have a training log, for instance. Whenever I go to the gym, I know exactly what sort of program I'm going to do every time I go, and I have kept that log since 2010. Every single day is recorded somewhere. So for me, it's my holding. So really, yeah, it depends. It depends. It depends on whether it's important to you or not. Pumpkin Puff. Also, going back to what you said about growing, how do I truly work towards moving away from my habits? Do not forgive when actions don't match words. You're doing it already. You have to stop thinking about it. You're trying too hard. And you're holding yourself back because of that. You keep on telling me, week after week, I'm not there. And you are doing it already. And so remember that one line. I said it many times, I'm going to say it again. Focus on the progress. Period. As opposed to focusing on arriving, focusing on the outcome, focusing on are we there yet? Focusing on I hate myself, I'm not enough, I want to change. Instead, learn how to love yourself right around now. Who you are is lovable. Who you are is fucking amazing. Accept yourself. But know that you will always get better. This is your journey. I'm enough as I am. I am worthy. I deserve love and happiness and all the good things in life. But I want to be better because this is my journey. It's not because I hate myself. It's because I'm in here for a journey of growth and expansion and evolution. This is your story in this life, is to expand. And so you want to stop looking at yourself from the perspective who judge you and make you feel bad, tell you that you're not good enough. You're doing this, that's why you keep on saying those things, right? So what you say, how do I truly work towards moving away from habits? You're doing it already. It's happening. Just be patient, right? Life is a process. You have to undo a lifetime of habit. And so it doesn't mean that you need another lifetime to change this, but you have a lot of things to change. You don't need to change everything. You just need to change whatever is more important for you to change at this point in time. And so as you focus on one thing at a time, one baby step, one day, one moment at a time, eventually you get better and better and things become clearer over time, right? Do not forgive when actions don't match words. So let me try it again. How do I truly work towards moving away from my habit to not forgive when actions don't match words? Okay, you're talking about your resentment. When your husband says things to you and you're still thinking about it, right? Because you have BPD. So what you do, you do it already. When you say, how do I truly? You don't need truly. Get rid of that. You're doing it. Just be patient with yourself. Now there are some systems that can help you heal quicker. Right? Again, if you work with me, things will be much, much, much quicker. But I understand that you have your own ways, and it's fine enough. And there are myriads of different ways to get to Rome. All routes lead to Rome. And so, you do your thing. This is your journey. I appreciate the progress. You're good. Okay? Bon Viti Mom, what a beautiful tribute. Thank you so much. Crowberry Black. Oh, hello. Hi, Didi. Been a while. Good to see you. Thank you so much. How are you doing? Christine. Hi. Can I ask you what to do when there's one person at work that doesn't treat you fair? I get so dysregulated and it affects me for days, but I don't want it to. you cannot change the person. What you can do is to try to talk to HR, talk to the manager, to the boss, and tell them this is happening. However, there are some cultures that will not be on your side. Some toxic culture, they don't care. And so so what you want to do then, if that's the case, is to realize, okay, I cannot change that person, and I'm suffering from that person. So what can I do about this? I would personally change work. That's the path of least resistance. If you can't do this straight away because you need to pay your bills, then strategize. Think, you know what? I'm going to stay here for now and suffer that individual because I need the money, but I'm seeking another job, a different career. And as soon as I can, I will leave. If I was you, first I will speak to whoever is in charge. But if they're all ganging up against you, and if they don't care about how you feel, maybe it's time for you to change and get something else to be done. But also something else that you can do, but again, I don't know you. But the best thing you can do when someone is not treating you fairly, no, the best thing you can do when someone is trying to hurt your feelings is to ignore them. But then again, I don't know if you can ignore what they do or say. If they don't treat you fairly, maybe they have some power over you. And again, if they are above you in the hierarchy of the company, then it means that you have to change company. Some companies, some cultures are toxic. It is the truth. However, a lot of companies, a lot of places, a lot of people who are kind and who will probably be a better match for you. Does it help, Christine? Do you want to give me some more details about this, perhaps? Pumpkin Puff, I journal why you said get them out of my head. But I don't reread anything, but I think he feels that I'm holding on to the negativity, the negative thoughts. So just tell him, I am not holding on to the negative thoughts. I am putting them out. I'm not even reading it. And it's none of your business. Anyway, is he a therapist? Does he, has he sorted his own baggage? Do you know what I mean? We all have things to do. Tell him, focus on your thing. I'm doing my bit. I appreciate your concern, but, Didi told me that it was a good idea, and so I'm going to follow his advice. And and it's not just my advice. Like all of us in our profession, we, I don't believe that there's. I can't recall any negative when it comes to journaling. It's very simple things like mindful breathing or meditation. There are some exceptions, but yeah. I don't think with journaling again, unless you are obsessed and you plaster your wall with all of your notes and you keep on reading them all the time, that'll be a problem. But other than that, there's nothing wrong with that. And again, if you can get your husband here, sometimes he can ask me questions directly. I'd be happy to do this as well. Terry, it is working for me to tear up my written morning pages. Okay. I do hold things, so this is something I don't hang on to. Okay, so hear that, Pumpkin Puff. Tell that to your husband. Different people, different ways to do this, and it's okay. Pumpkin Puff, you're right. I become very in my own head about my progress. I feel like when I'm trying really hard to work on myself, I do hold resentment more, and I don't know how to fix that. So let me try to understand your problem. I feel like when I'm trying really hard to work on myself. So what do you mean by I'm trying really hard to work on myself? What do you do? What example? What specific things are you doing when you say I'm trying really hard to work on myself? You don't want to work very hard on yourself. You just want to do what you can in this moment. And if anything, let go of the hardship, let go of the pressure, let go of the I must. Instead, again, practice self-love, self-compassion, and tell yourself, it's okay. This is my best, and my best is good enough. It's more than good enough. And then you say, I do hold resentment more. So I'm trying to understand when you are working very hard on yourself, somehow, you hold resentment more. So I need to understand what you mean. What do you do? And what sort of resentment? How do you mean I'm working hard? And where does the resentment come from? If you can explain this to me, that would be great. I agree with you. I think I showed him a live stream of yours a while ago, and he may have misunderstood what you thought. I shouldn't keep my journaling. You do what you want, mate. You can keep it, you can get rid of it. It's up to you. But you never want to do anything because someone tells you not to. I mean, because your husband tells you not to. You know, you are trying something. Keep trying. Unless, obviously, it was really obviously dangerous for you or him. Pumpkin Puff, sorry for the back and forth and my poor typing. It's okay. We always understand at some point, I hope. Pumpkin Puff, can you remind me what you wanted me to clear up about my resentment? I want to understand what you are meaning. What did you try to say? When do you get resentful? You say that somehow when you're working hard on yourself, you are being more resentful. So I don't understand that bit. Because working hard on yourself means many things. Which part of the working hard brings resentment? That's what I'd like to know. Pumpkin Puff. Oh, my husband is also supposed to be trying, says he will, then doesn't do it. Okay. So you're saying that you are resentful because you are working very hard on yourself. And your husband says that he would as well, but he's not doing it. And so that's where the resentment comes from. Is that correct? Joe the boy. Hi Didi. Hello Joe. Pumpkin Puff. He tells me that I need to work on forgiving him, and I tell him I can't do that without his effort too. Your work is not to forgive him. He should never tell you that. If he's telling you that, he's displaying some narcissistic behavior in that moment. We can't force anyone to forgive. Forgiveness is the result of something. It's a byproduct. It's the symptom that we have healed. So when someone says to you, you should forgive me, this is gaslighting. This is manipulation. This is a display of narcissism. Right? No one should ever tell you, you should forgive me. People should say, I hope that you can forgive me at some point when you are ready. But then you told me that your husband is on the autism spectrum, and sometimes people who are on the autism spectrum can come across as such. They don't really realize, and they can come across as a narcissist. But it's not for you. You don't have to forgive anyone. It's creating more pressure. It's making it harder on yourself to heal. The only thing that really matters to you is to find a way how to reconnect with yourself. And so self-compassion, self-forgiveness. And eventually, as you work on yourself, everything else will follow. If you have resentment towards your husband, it's your BPD. You don't choose to forgive. What you want to do is to realize that this happened and remind yourself, I did it again. You want to forgive yourself first. I'm sorry that I did that. It's not my fault. Again, I didn't choose my trauma. I didn't choose to have BPD. I didn't choose to have those thoughts. And then eventually, as you are calmed down, as you are both in a better place, then you may be able to say sorry to each other. And it's very important that the forgiveness comes from both sides. The sorry, the apologies comes from both sides. When I get into a tantrum with my husband, I need him to forgive, not to say sorry to me. But then I say sorry to him as well. Because I understand that everything in a relationship is 50-50. Everything. It's never just this or that. Even if there's one that is obviously more vocal or harmful than the other is still allowing this. And so it's important to realize that if we want to heal a relationship, we need to be reminded that it's always 50-50. It's never because of you. And it's not because of me entirely either. It's because of us. And this is how we heal. By changing the perspective. In that moment, it's hard for you because you split, right? This is BPD. So in the moment, your husband is the enemy. But if he's got autism, probably he's also protecting himself, without even realizing this. And so in the moment, again, there's nothing we can do, because you are both being run by your program, your respective program. However, before and after the event is when you work on yourself. I tell him I can't do that without his effort. Joe the boy, what have is lost my will to work hard around the anniversary of my sister's passing. How can I recover and push for my goals again? You're looking at the symptoms instead of looking at the core of the problem. If you find it difficult to have some sort of willpower to work hard because it's the anniversary of your sister passing, then you want to honor your sister. If you feel down, if you feel sad, if you feel disempowered, allow for those things to happen. Feel like that. Feel like crap. Shout, cry, be angry, let those energies out. And then eventually when it's out, learn how to have a good relationship with your body, as in with your emotions. And then once it's out, then because you have processed those energies, you'll be able to resume what you're doing. But if you're just trying to focus on what you're doing and avoiding this, you're going to repress something, but it's going nowhere, and it's going to stay with you for much, much, much longer. Is that what you meant, Joe the boy? Or is it something else that you meant? Have you, your sister passed away, and have you been depressed ever since? Has it affected you at the general level? As in, not just on her anniversary? We can talk about this if you want. Catch me outside. Hi, Didi. What would you say to someone that collapses under stress? Stress being responsibilities. Collapse is ignoring those responsibilities by distracting with things like social media. Okay, so if you are collapsing under stress, it's because there's a part of you that wants to protect you from stress, from overwhelm, from having your fuse going, burning, free, being, I don't know how to say, being, yeah. Let me go back. I'm losing my words. When we collapse, whatever reactions we have, it's always our mind telling us, our mind and our body telling us that it's enough. It's shutting you down. And so if you are overwhelmed by responsibilities, it's because there's a part of you that doesn't want to face those responsibilities. Maybe it doesn't want you to feel certain feelings. Or maybe you have some belief, the belief that if I take on those responsibilities, I will fail or I will be rejected. And I can't let this happen because it happened to me in the past and it sucked by then in the past. And so whatever that is preventing you to function, you want to learn to understand why it happened. And you want, again, you don't want to address the symptom of a problem. You want to address the root cause of it. Collapse is ignoring those responsibilities by distracting with things like social media. Yes, so typically your mind will seek an escape from those things because there's an attachment to those things. So responsibility equals pressure, exposing myself, being vulnerable, again, being at risk of being rejected or failing, being judged. Whatever it may be, you have some belief about yourself that are getting you to act like that because your mind wants to protect you from pain, from certain feelings, from shame, from fear, from anything that is related to your own childhood. And so you can absolutely address this. But then I need to know more about you in order to give you some more recommendations. Joe the boy, why have I lost my way to work hard around the anniversary of my sister's passing? How can I recover and push for my goal again? So I answered your question. I hope that you wrote that before I responded. Pumpkin Puff. Example. He said something seemingly rude. I tell him it hurts me, and eventually it happens again, so I assume he meant to hurt me. He defects because I'm assuming his feelings. He just wants to believe him. He just wants me to believe him for his intentions, but I struggle greatly because I see reparative actions without the change. So again, 50-50. You see something, he sees something else. You told me that he's on the spectrum of autism, right? And so it's something that I'm very familiar with because my husband is autistic and I've got BPD. And so we're always fighting because I take things personally and he comes across as super rude, but he doesn't mean it either. So now we've done a lot of work and now I'm aware that he doesn't mean it. It still hurts my feelings, but at least it allows me to create more space. So it's baby steps, right? Even for me, after all those years. But it's really about realizing that you have your things to work on. He needs to work on himself as well. Autistic people can be extremely difficult. They don't realize this. It's just the way they are. It's got to be precise, rigid, predictable, logic. Uh, and so for him, the, the the interpretation we have of an event is different for every single person. But for you and for him, because of your BPD and because of his autism, it's even further from what anyone else could interpret that situation from. And so it's important that he does his things. It's important that you do your thing, but it's important for you to know that you are some of the things that you say and feel and think are absolutely valid and legit. He needs to get this. And you need to tell him, but I also get you. I know that you don't mean this. You don't do it on purpose, but we need to find a way to meet in between, and it's possible. My husband, again, has worked a lot on himself. He's changed a lot over the years. He was a very different person in regards to a lot of his behavior. He had to learn. He just had to learn. And so your husband must find some humility and some courage to face himself, because otherwise you will keep suffering and that will be unfair on you. You need to both make some effort. Again, it's a relationship, it's a couple, so both of you need to do something to go in the same direction. It's not you or me, it's both. Does it help, Pumpkin Puff? VKK, my wife, she hates me so much. Fighting, screaming, always need a space. I don't understand her behavior. It's been impacting me and kids a lot. How long should I stay? I have not anything physically or emotionally wrong, but I strongly see her past and childhood issues. But why do I have to deal with this? You don't have to. We don't have to. We do what we can, but sometimes we come to a point where we're realizing, I can't do this anymore. Probably your wife has some problems, her own baggage, and maybe, correct me if I'm wrong, but maybe in your own childhood, you had some problematic people in your life, and it was your job to fix them. It was your job to look after them. And so you have created that sense of self. And that's why now you have attracted and allowed the sort of people in your life. And there's a part of you that believed, I can save her, I can help her, because this is who I am, this is what I've been doing all my life. However, maybe after many years, and because you have kids now, you're coming to a realization, oh, it doesn't work. And so maybe there's a shift. And so maybe it's time for you to change. Very often in the sort of relationships, there's one enabler. And so if your wife has problems and you've been there to support her, what it means is that also maybe you never challenged her the way she should be challenged in order to heal. You have allowed her to be more whatever that she was already. And so that is also a problem for her because it doesn't allow her to have any awareness that that dynamic is wrong. And so, yes, what do you say, VKK? Pumpkin Puff, I need to note my husband doesn't have the intention or want to hurt my feelings. Oh yeah, I get it. Again, autism. Same thing with my husband. He never means anything. When you look at him through the eyes of compassion, he's like someone who is genuinely kind and doing his best, but he can come across like a horrible bitch. Like horrible. To me, it can really, because I've got BPD and because he can be abrupt and it's the discrepancy between a world, a perspective that creates the suffering. However, the suffering is real. And so it's important to realize this. It's not about you. So you want to express both. Again, you have hurt my feeling. You want to accept that two truths can coexist. You have hurt my feelings. I know that you don't mean on purpose, but still you have hurt my feelings. And so because I've got BPD, I need you to say sorry. I need you to see me, not because it's right or wrong, just because I need you to show me that you care about how I feel. This is what I am sorry means for people with BPD. It was never about right or wrong. It's about I'm seen, I'm valued, I'm heard, I exist. My feelings matter. This is what it means. And so get your husband to apologize to you, not because it's right, because he will never get it right. Because no, autistic mind, right, wrong, true or false. It's more about understanding that it's a different way to communicate. And so very often, we've been together for 21 years now, and my husband would do something, and then he would apologize because we have talked about it so long. And I know that very often he would apologize, even though he doesn't know why. But here's the thing: it's not about the why; it's about him showing that he cares for me. And then the next moment, when I feel better, I apologize as well, and then we're good. So I need to note my husband doesn't have the intention or want to hurt my feelings. Yes, we get this. It's just my brain attaching a reason because it's repetitive. It's both. It's not just you. There's some stuff that you have to work on. There's something that he needs to work on. I understand that is my part of the problem. Yes, it is your part, but there's also his part of the problem. It's very important that you both address your own things. Catch me outside. That was helpful. Thank you. Oh, fantastic. I see my attachment and aversions. Thank you. Thank you. Coco and us said hi. Hello, Coco. Pumpkin Puff. Exactly. Okay, you know exactly what I'm trying to convey. I don't know how to get the point of understanding that, yes, that hurts, but he didn't mean to. But also, it still hurt me. So, this is what DBT is about. Dialectical behavior therapy is the idea that more than one truth, even when they seem opposite, can coexist. And so, my husband hurt me, it's true. But my husband loves me as well, it's also true. My husband meant well, it's true. But my husband must apologize to me. This is also true. So this is something that you want to learn together, how to communicate. Again, with autistic husband, you get to tell him it's not about right or wrong. It's about learning a different language to convey, to communicate, to share that he cares for you. This is super important for you and for your relationship. Gotham, can I ask a question? Yes, sure, please. Pumpkin Puff, I love how you really understand the position I'm in. You covered everything. Fantastic. So, show this to your husband. Remember, all of my live streams are to be found the next day on my channel. It takes pretty much a day for YouTube to fully upload my live streams. And so whatever that I said, you can always replay it. Show him on big screen. Right? Husband, take note. It's not your fault. It's not Pumpkin Puff's fault either. It's no one's fault. It doesn't have to be anyone's fault. It's about understanding how to communicate and how to show that we care for others. I need my husband to say sorry to me, to know that he cares about my feelings. And he needs me to behave in certain ways to know that I care about him. It goes both ways, always. But the moment we are going to find whose fault is it now, all relationships will go down. Pumpkin Puff, it's a hard position. I will bookmark this live. You're doing well. We are getting somewhere. It's slightly different each time. And I believe that you are having more clarity about your whole issue. It takes time. Student said hi. Pumpkin Puff, thank you for your heart. How do I convey to him that I need him to learn that way of communication and understanding? Just tell him that. Tell him, for us to heal, we need to be both on the same page. Tell him, I understand that you have autism, but the way you function is too rigid for me. There's a time and a place for everything. When you do your special things that you like, you can be all rigid as you want. This is your world. This is your space, your time. But when we are together, we need to find a way to communicate together. So if you really care about me, which I believe you do, because you told me you've been together for a while now, then I need you to learn how to communicate with me. And I will learn how to communicate with you. You need to find something in between. Right? It's not just him, it's not just you, it's the both of you. And what matters is not that you get somewhere. What matters is that you are both making an effort and that the other one can see the effort. That's it. If he sees that you're trying to put yourself into his shoes and you see that he's doing that to you, now you are changing the whole nature of your relationship, the way you feel about each other. In those moments when you fight, more and more so, you will no longer see the enemy, the other, or whoever they remind you from your past. You will see someone who is trying to heal with you together. Pumpkin Puff, I'm trying. You're helping me so much. I feel so lost sometimes, but you seem to truly understand. Yes, keep trying until it works. Tell him, we're all different, and I appreciate so many things about you, but we need to work together, and this is what you need to do as well. Pumpkin Puff, thank you for the little hearts, which is so rare. Most people will judge me or him and call it a day because they don't know. People only know what they know. People don't know what they don't know. And this is the same for everyone. It's just two people who are very different trying to understand each other. Yes. So your case is like mine. It's quite extreme. However, everything that I said applies for anyone else. Regardless of the problems in the couple, regardless of the conditions, regardless of the history, it's the same for every single couple. Yeah. It's about banishing the illusion of separation, me versus him or her or them. It's about what are we going to do together? How can we work together, as opposed to, again, when we are into some emotional moment, as we become emotional, in that moment we are the child again, and suddenly that person that we're facing is our mum or our dad or our bully or anyone who hurt us in the past, and it goes both ways as well. And so that explains the discrepancy, the fights between people, because each person in the room is experiencing a different reality. Yeah. When I fight with my husband, I see my mum, and he sees his dad. And then eventually you work on yourself and realize, no, it's me, it's him. But in the moment, this is what we experience. That's why we react like that emotionally. Pumpkin Puff, I just feel like if everything up all the time, I just feel like I F everything up all the time. Thank you for your heart. No, you don't. You don't. You're doing well. You feel a lot of shame and guilt. It's a habit, but you don't. So learn to remind yourself. Remember, be kind to yourself. You never F up everything. This is your old self thinking. This is your old self telling you, what have you done again? You're such a loser. Why do you always do the same? And this is the nasty voice of your parents or your teachers or your bullies that is in your head. This is what you want to change. Tell yourself, you know what? That voice is not my voice. Who am I? What am I dealing with? I'm dealing with my past, a past that I've not chosen. And so tell yourself, I didn't F up everything. The system, the protection program that I've developed because of my own trauma has done that. And I'm going to work on myself. And the first thing that you want to do to work on yourself in that moment is to practice self-compassion. Okay? Thank you, Didi. I truly appreciate you. Of course. Thank you. It's always a pleasure. Remind yourself, you never F anything up. It's literally you fixing all the patterns from your past. Everything that happened to you is also a continuation of the things that happened to your parents. We are the continuation of a momentum that started a long time before us. And so what it means is that as you are changing yourself, if you look at the big picture, the saga of your life, you're also fixing your parents. You're also fixing their parents. You're fixing all the generations before. And this is our mission here. We realize we come into this life to break cycles, generational trauma. And if we can do that, it's the greatest purpose anyone can have in their life. Pumpkin Puff. Oh, also happy early birthday tomorrow. Right, thank you. Yes. Yes, tomorrow is my birthday. Well done. Thank you for remembering. And when was it? Tuesday was our anniversary. We didn't do anything because we were both too busy with our things. At some point, we may do something, but Tuesday was our anniversary. We officially been together for 21 years, and tomorrow is my birthday. Thank you for remembering. And again, we haven't planned anything because we are both busy with our stuff. But it doesn't matter because we do things whenever we feel like it. We don't need to. We are very chilled when it comes to those things. We don't do anything because everyone else is doing those things at those particular date. But thank you for the thought. It's very kind of you to remember. And so for those who don't know me, I'm going to be 56 tomorrow. 56 years old. And I'm feeling great. Again, I've been to the gym today and I'm feeling that my strength is coming back. I'm learning how to train more reasonably. And it's working. Pumpkin Puff, you are 100% correct. Both my parents have their own issues that were accidentally put onto me. It was not accident. It's how it works. We pass on the things that we have not heard about ourselves. However, the previous generations didn't know anything about mental health, so they couldn't do much. It still hurt you, but no, everyone is doing their best. Now, the one thing that matters is that you now knows. And so you do something about it, and you're doing it, and you're fine. One VT Mom, happy anniversary and happy birthday. Thank you so much, VT Mom. Parisa, you look amazing for your age. Yes, thank you. I was waiting for someone to tell me, oh, you only look. Someone told me that the other day. I only look 37. That was quite precise, but I take it any day. Thank you. Parisa, I thought you were 40. Oh, I'm disappointed. I looked 37. Now suddenly I'm looking 40. I'm joking. I'm very happy with myself. I always looked much younger of my life. And so if I look old at some point, I would have looked young for long enough. But I believe that youth is not about our parents. Just it's about our energy. If you're happy, then the smile, the energy, the speaking will make sure that you come across as younger because you're involved and invested in this moment, as opposed to dwelling on the past or being scared about the future. But thank you, Parisa. It's a nice compliment. That's still 16 years younger. Pumpkin Puff. Oh, I forgot your anniversary is right before your birthday. That's nice. I understand not doing anything special, but you deserve a little celebration. Not as we can celebrate every day, anytime. We go through phases where we celebrate things every day just for nothing, and it's okay. But thank you, Pumpkin Puff. Student. Hi, I want to do many tasks, but I forget and to-do list gets too long. What a better way to keep track. So again, I talked to you already. You want to understand whether or not you're on the spectrum of something. This is very important. Because until we know what sort of brain you have, I may not give you the right recommendations. Do you believe that you may be on the spectrum of some neurodiversity? Student, how old are you? Tell me about yourself. Do you always find it difficult to do things, to focus? And also, do you have some special interest? Can you obsess and hyperfixate on certain things? Are you always late? Are you always on time? Are you organized? Are you messy? Tell me more about yourself. Very often, the easiest way to deal with that is to understand that the way you function is not the way society expects you to function. That would be much easier on you. If you're on the spectrum of ADHD or autism above, understanding this will change your life. Until you do that, you believe that there's something wrong about me that I need to change. And you create a lot of shame, guilt, pressure, self-hatred, and this is never a good idea. And anyone like me or anyone else who has been diagnosed lately would tell you that. Pumpkin Puff. I'm planning on getting Scattered Minds by Gabor Mate. All right. Do you think that would be helpful for me to read? Yes. I recommend that book often. I love Gabor Mate. And Scattered Mind is a fantastic book for ADHD. I think Scattered Mind talks about trauma and ADHD. And so it's a fantastic book. It's a really, really important book. Now, even if you don't have ADHD, it teaches us so much about how our brain develops and for what reasons. And so, yes, absolutely. I recommend that book, and I recommend any books from Gabor Mate to anyone. But Scattered Mind is a very, very powerful one as far as understanding neurodiversity is concerned. Thank you for your heart. Student, I think I used to fixate on games and collecting them eventually grew out and got sick. I like variety, surprisingly, and get bored of job. Do you do things that you enjoy? Can you have a fixate on things? Do you sometimes get a passion and you get very excited about it, and after a while you get bored and you try something else? Does your level of excitement varies highly from one moment or one task to another? Or are you stable? Pumpkin Puff. Perfect. Should I get Myth of Normal too? Yes, all of them. I mean, take it one at a time. You can only read one book at a time, right? But yeah, the realm of the Hungry Ghost is about addiction. There's one I did with someone else about kids psychology. Yeah, Myth of Normal is also a very good book. They all are. But I'd say you mentioned Scattered Mind. Start with that. One book at a time and see what happens. You may learn some things about you and your husband in that book that may be useful to both of you. Pumpkin Puff. I'm very neurodivergent, so I wasn't sure where to start. That's it. Scattered Minds. Fantastic. Some people don't like Gabor Mate, but I believe that the only reason some people dislike his work is because of his political expressions. Everyone else understand and accept and admire his work. But there's a handful of people who are really like on a hunt against him. And I believe I've seen that often is because they have some link to Israel, to Zionism, and so they're trying to basically badmouth him. But for the vast majority of people in my profession, he's looked up to. He's a very clever person and very human, very empathic and compassionate. This is the main thing about him that really stands out. It's his level of empathy and compassion. For that, he is my hero. I want to be Gabor Mate when I grow up. Catalyst Cat. Hi, how can I stop overthinking? Practice mindfulness. Other than that, I need to find out what you mean by overthinking. There's a lot of different reasons as to why we end up overthinking. Do you have anxiety? Are you stressed out? Are you overwhelmed? Are you depressed? Or any of those things? Overthinking is the symptom of many possible things. And so it depends. But if you're not going to give me any more details about yourself, I'd say at a general level, on one hand, work on yourself so that you understand why you need to overthink. Overthinking is a system that you believe at a subconscious level is useful. If I overthink things, I'm going to be in control. I'm going to be safe. Right? So that's what we want to do about. That's what we want to do. But aside of this, what we could all do, and it's a long-term strategy, is to learn about meditation and mindfulness. Because mindfulness, being mindful, being present, is the opposite of overthinking. When you overthink things, you're always thinking about things to do with the future or the past. If you are present, there's only now, there's nothing else. And so you're at peace. But then, if you want to tell me more about yourself, Catalyst Cat, I'm more than happy to be more specific for you. Pumpkin Puff. That's what I thought too. It will help me for both my brain and understanding his. Okay, yes. Leo. Hey, mister, how to handle emotions and choice logically instead of emotions. You don't handle emotions logically. It's two different things. On one hand, you have logic, thought, brain. On the other side, you have emotions, feelings, subconscious mind, body, heart, nervous system. It's two different realms. And very often we try to rationalize our emotions, but we do this because we don't have emotional intelligence, and also because we don't want to feel. And so many of us, we try to rationalize everything because we don't know how to feel. We've never been taught how to feel, so we don't like it. We are avoiding certain feelings. And so overthinking or rationalizing or trying um, to turn emotions into logic is precisely avoiding feelings in our body. We're seeking shelter in our head because we don't understand how to deal with the things that we're feeling in our body. And that creates problems. A lot of people suffer from overthinking. They're trying to rationalize how they feel. And the more they do this, the more they suffer because the problem was always here in your body, not in your head. Right? So you don't handle emotions logically. You understand them. You understand the language of emotions. It's a different language altogether. This is the language of thought, the language of words, pictures, and this is the language of your body, feelings, emotions, body sensations. It's a different language. It tells you different things, and you want to learn that language. It's like you telling me, how can I understand Chinese with English? You don't. You learn Chinese. Or the Chinese people learn English. You need to speak the same language, but you can't deal with something by using the wrong system. I hope it makes sense, Leo. And this is precisely one of the reasons so many of us suffer, because no one has taught us about emotional intelligence or even intuitive intelligence as well. The rational intelligence is great, fantastic. But something that you may find surprising is that your rational intelligence is only 5% of your intelligence. 95% of your intelligence is your body. It's your emotions, it's your feelings, it's all of your subconscious and unconscious reactions and systems that are in place that get you to experience your human experience. And so to handle emotions, you want to learn how to speak that language and connect with your body, as opposed to think about it, rationalize, make sense of it. You can't make sense of it. You can feel. And after that, once you have felt, then we can talk. I hope it makes sense. Leo. Pumpkin Puff. Yes, I listened to a few of his interviews and thought they were very insightful. Also, you said when you grow up, when do you consider yourself grown up? It's a joke. It's a joke when I say, when I grow up, I'll be like him. I'm going to be 56 tomorrow. It's a joke. Don't take it literally. Okay. It's an endearing way to show my admiration and appreciation for him. That's it. Pumpkin Puff. Oh, I just had a fun thought. I'm going to buy one of your books for your birthday. I've had them on my wish list. Okay, thank you. Thank you. If you do that, you'll be supporting a couple of charities for homeless people. And I appreciate that. Yeah, those books I've written them now a little while ago. So the things that I think now is quite far away from those things. However, I'm still proud of what I've done then, and again, they're helping charities, and so anything helps. So thank you if you do that. And you can always tell me what you think about what I've written then. Leo, thanks, but I really think emotions are ruining my life. It's because you don't understand them. Of course, they're ruining your life because you don't understand them. You've been told that they're bad. But the more you're avoiding certain emotions, the more you're creating problems in your life. What is ruining your life is not your emotions, it's your inability to understand them. We all have been raised with fear, with shame. Because of that, we are repressing many parts of us and we suffer because of that. This is precisely the reason as to why so many of us suffer, especially, I don't know if it's the case for you, but especially men in a patriarchal society. You have to be strong. You can never cry. Boys don't cry. You can never show your vulnerability. You must be successful. You must be logic. You must be a stoic. And because of that, men repress their emotions and then they're all over the place. And that's why twice as many men unalive themselves because they're overwhelmed, but they don't seek help. They don't know how to understand those feelings. It's not the emotions that are ruining anyone's life. Your emotions are energies from your body, and they are your human experience, no more or less. But yeah, the way we've been brought up by society tell us that everything is about logic. Emotions are for women, intuition is for hippies, and it's not true. We have different minds that have different purpose, different strength, different qualities, and we should use all of our mind. Cognitive mind, your head; emotional mind, your heart; and intuitive mind, your gut. Catalyst Cat, 56 years old, you're still young. Yes, thank you. I agree with you. I appreciate it. Thank you. Lifestyle Chat. Hello, Didi. Do you think to write something more again? Yes, I'm thinking about everything. I'm working on my book. So those books that I've written, they're all collaborative works. Stuff that I've done with other people. So each book is a compilation of I don't know, 10, 14 of them. And we all have one chapter about the subject of the book. And so the first one was Anxiety and Us, the yellow one. Yeah, you don't see it. And then sadness and us, anger and us, fear and us, authenticity and us, overwhelm and us, grief and us, neurodiversity and us, addiction and us, and writing and us. But it's always me with other people. I've been working on my own full-on book for a long time. I'm still writing it every day. I don't know when it's going to come out, but this is the project of my lifetime. And I'm obsessed with that. And I really, really want at some point to publish books that are deep and powerful enough to reflect everything that I've come across and that I've learned from my life up to this point. So basically, manual of life, understanding the mind, understanding human nature, understanding why the world is in such a state and what we can do about it, both at an individual and the collective level. So yes, I'm obsessed. This is what I'm doing. Thank you for showing interest about this lifestyle chapter. But yes, I'm on it. It's just that again, I've got tons of things going on, and it will come out when it's ready. I believe that at some point I will have a revelation and I will lock myself and I will not go out for like 1 or 2 or 3 months, and then bang, when I come out of the room with a long beard, I'll have a book in my hand, ready to be published. But I don't know when. Lifestyle chapter. What do you mean the profit goes to charities? Yes, we are supporting 2 charities for homeless people. So all the money goes to those charities. One of them in London is called The Big Issue. And the other one, I don't know the name, is in Singapore because the publisher lives in Singapore. So basically all the money goes to those charities. We don't do it for fame or fortune. Not that it sells a lot anyway. But if there was anything, any difference we could make, it goes to those charities. Pumpkin Puff. Oh, that's even better. That will bring me some goodness. I know you're working on your own book now, and I meant to get at least one of them a while ago. Thank you. Pumpkin Puff. I just thought it's a way I can support you more. Thank you. You're not supporting me. You're supporting the charities. But it's kind of, you know what? You coming here is how you're supporting me. I'm happy with that. When I hear about your progress, that's supporting me. I'm very happy with that. It's very important to me. You are, and anyone who I'm working with through those live streams are the reasons as to why I'm doing those things. Pumpkin Puff, I was wondering, did your husband buy your own books to go on the shelf since you were talking about not caring for material things? No, I did that myself because I had an office up till the pandemic. So I had a lot of those books and I was giving them to my clients. But I don't have physical office anymore, so I do everything online. So now I have all of those books and I'm happy with them. I don't mind. They're a reminder of what I've done so far. Yeah. And what I've done so far is not the books. It's the journey of me becoming a writer, becoming an author. It's always the journey of becoming the next level. So yeah, I enjoy this and I will continue. I believe that my future involves lots of books. But no, my husband didn't buy any of them. Not at all. He buys his stuff. He buys his antique stuff. I bought those for my clients when I had a physical office back then. Pumpkin Puff. Thank you, Didi. Just know you treasured and you helped me and so many more. Thank you. It's an absolute pleasure, of course. Thank you. Okay, guys. I just saw the clock showing me that it's 8 o'clock. So it's time for me to resume my day and do other things. I'm going to say goodbye slowly now. If you have any last comment, hit me up before I say goodbye. But essentially, for those who don't know me, I am both on TikTok and on YouTube. I do some long form video on YouTube. I haven't done anything for the last 2 or 3 weeks because I was overwhelmed. But I will resume from next week. Long form video once a week on YouTube. Short videos every day. And live streams on YouTube every week, every Wednesdays and every Fridays for sure, from 6 p.m. UK time. And if it's busy enough, I may be there up till 8 o'clock. Okay. And also, all the videos that I do live stream can be found and replayed the following day on my channel. And finally, if you need any more details about me as a therapist and coach, there's also a link to my website somewhere on my bio. Okay, so let me read the last comment. Pumpkin Puff, good night, Didi. Hope you have a great birthday and enjoy your evening. Thank you so much, and same to you. Terry Matlock, thank you for your time. Thank you, Terry. 1VT Mom, have a great evening. Thank you so much, and the same to you. Terry, stay well. Thank you. Guys, I love you all. Take care. Look after yourself. Remember to be kind to others if you can, but if you can't, at least be kind to yourself. Okay? And hopefully I see you sometime next week. Bye bye now. Thank you.